What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Listen, I apologize that I'm a few minutes late. Let me say this before we get into anything. I just got a quick announcement I need to make. Let me explain something. For the people who might be new here, this you're new to my channel, and that's great. And I welcome you, and I hope you stay. When I do my pre-recorded videos, those are short and to the point. When I do my live videos, the purpose of being live is to have an audience and to interact with my audience. So if you're not the person that wants to see that, if you're not the person that enjoys that, then you're probably not going to enjoy this video. And that's all I can say about that. There's 500 other YouTubers that are talking about the bishop, and you may want to just find one of those videos because we're about to clown. We are going to talk to each other. I am going to interact with my chat. This is my tribe. These are my people. And that's just what it is. And, if that's the place you want to be, come on and pull up a seat. We're about to have a good time. Okay? Now let me get to my people. Hey to the people. Let me say hi to the people coming in. What's up, Lemon Kush? What's up, Amber? Hey, Diva One. Hey, Natalie, Tracy, Sharon, Tracy. I got my twins. Both my Tracys are here. Hey, Mr. Willie Brown. Hey, Marilyn. What's up, Therapist Pam? I might need some therapy by the end of this. I might need some therapy, okay? What's up, Pam? The law intellect. The bishop just said he about to sue you. Hey, Miss... I couldn't even say that with a straight face. Hey, Miss Bonner. What's up, cool gamer? Hey, Barbara. Hey, cross country cruising, my love. What's up, Deborah, Marnie, Danielle. Hey, what's up, Star? What's up, my love? Blondie, little baby. Hey, Blue. You know I was going to change your name up again. Baby Blue Prada shoes. Hey. What's up, Jonathan? We ain't got no problem. Hey, Nessa. What's going on? Hey, Ronnie B. Who messing with you? Hey, T. Jones. No, it's just, people, listen, when I cover certain topics, I get more views. It just is what it is. And, I got a couple of comments today on my Shirley Strawberry video. My Shirley Strawberry video, I got a couple of comments about she talked too much and blah, blah, blah. Y'all know the same old. And I very nicely told them, this just might not be the channel for you because that's what I do. When I go live, I'm going to speak to my people. Y'all are in the chat. Y'all are here for a reason. What's up, mans? See, he always got to come in here and be shady. Hey, Dark Liquor Cam. And I'm just saying, I'm going to talk to my people. We're going to chat. We're going to clown. When we're live, what's the purpose of being live if all I'm going to do is say, so today, blah, 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 blah. Okay, bye. Why am I live if I'm not going to interact with the people? So, I'm not worried about it, but that's why I just gave the disclaimer at the beginning of the video so they could just go ahead and click off rather than watch the video and then leave me a comment. You took the time to leave me a comment. Okay. Anyway, I just don't understand clicking on somebody's video to go, child girl, it is what it is. I just wanted to just let the people know before they got started. That's all. So y'all, we are here. Y'all know we're here to talk about the bishop, child. People been talking about the bishop all day. And a couple of things that went down with the bishop, child. A couple of things then went down with the bishop. So he live now. That's why I'm late. If you want to know the truth of the matter, I was trying to see what he was gonna say. I was listening to a little bit of what he's talking about, but y'all know whenever his name is in the news, he has to go live to let us see his face. He used to give us a show. He doesn't like to play with us like that anymore. Thank you, Mims. Mims said hit that like button. Thank you, Natalie. Natalie said talk your ish as long as you please. Thank you, my love. Thank you. Hey, Alice. So that's really why if you want to know the truth about it, that's really why I was late. So somebody wrote in the chat, are you going to sue Pam? Somebody wrote, are you going to sue Pam? He said, oh, yeah. Y'all know I can't. You see, I can't even get through that with a straight face. He talking about something. Oh, yeah. Let me tell y'all something. And I ain't just saying this because I have grown to love Pam, and I feel like me and Pam are building a friendship. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna just keep that. Did he unblock? You know what? I wasn't blocked. I forgot to come back here and tell y'all that I wasn't blocked. I shouldn't say that out loud, but I wasn't blocked. My Instagram does that. I don't know what it is because it's been other lives that I can't get into. But if I click over to my other profile, no problem. I can get right in. So he ain't blocked me yet. But let me tell y'all what I know. What I know about Pam is that Pam is a bad mother. Shut your mouth, okay? I ain't never been in the courtroom to see her litigate. But I just talking to her, hearing her, and seeing her, and knowing that a lot of what she tells us comes to pass. And see, it's a lot of stuff she don't. I'm just gonna tell it, y'all. There's a lot of stuff she don't say publicly for a variety of reasons, but she'll say it to me, and then boom, I'll be like, damn, Pam just said that. Or Pam said that the attorney should do this. Or Pam said the attorney was gonna do this. Or Pam said it was gonna come out like this. And there's a lot of stuff she just can't say publicly because you know. But baby, the way that I would clown at the response that I feel like would be formulated to any lawsuit that he ever felt like he was gonna file, baby, the way that Pam Law Intellect Esquire would dismantle that man. I need y'all to know that, but for the inconvenience of her having to actually deal with him, kind of like that mosquito that keeps biting your ankles when you're trying to just make you a s'more by the fire. You understand what I'm saying? Like like the mosquitoes that tore my ankles up 4th of July when I was just trying to make me a damn s'more by the fire pit. But that's another conversation for another day. Baby, do y'all know how I would cackle? Because of what that would look like that Pam would write. Bitch. Anyway, so that's what he said. Somebody asked him in the chat, are you going to sue Pam? And he said, oh yeah, her paperwork rating or some shit. He said, I don't even know. He just said, yeah. He said something about her paperwork. Baby, like Concha said, when he talked to the bishop on the phone, Concha said that the bishop told him he got a folder with his name on it. He just waiting. I guess he got folders for all of us. Let me stop laughing before it be me next. Because I'm sure he got a folder with my name on the chat. I'm sure he does. Let me stop. Okay, hold on. Let me get myself together, y'all. Hold on. Let me get myself together. I can't take this. Okay. So you literally still talking about suing people. All right. So for those who have not heard, the bishop had a couple of things going on with him legally today, right? It's been, well, not just today, but it's just say in general, right? We know for those of you who have been following, right, Barry, what would be the basis because she make public documents public? Because she makes public documents public. Because she reads. I can't do this. Y'all cutting up already. Y'all got me cutting up already. So, for those who have not been following this, all I can tell you is go back. I'm going to create a Bishop Whitehead playlist on my channel. I thought about doing it, but I'm really going to do it this time. Because we've been following this for a year. We have been following this for a year. I think the first time we talked about this was when that man's church got robbed, and that was back in July. It has been a year. So, in August of last year, Miss Jones, the radio DJ, he sued her for a lot of money. I don't even have the energy to get into the whatever the millions were. It was a lot. And because he said that she called him a drug dealer. She said that allegedly, this is what he said. She said that she called him a drug dealer. That she said that, you know, if you go to his church, you're gonna get assaulted. That he assaults the people at his church, and that you might get robbed. Y'all are trying to get through this with a straight face, and that you might get robbed, right? Now I'm not gonna get into all the members. Y'all do have 2 new emojis. You got a tap 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 emoji. You got a tap 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 emoji, and you have a Law and Order University emoji. And this would be perfect for the Law and Order University. So members, let me know if y'all see them. I added them a little about 30-40 minutes ago. So let me know if y'all see them. Put them in the chat if you can see them. Members, go to your emojis and see if you can find your Law and Order University emoji. This would be a perfect time for the Law and Order University. I need 16 more members to join before I can add more emojis. I thought I had more that I could add, but once I get 16 more members join, then I can add some more emojis. Then we can do the other emojis we talked about yesterday. Okay, good. I see them in the chat. All right. See, okay, we got tap, 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 and we got Law and Order University. Okay. So, Pam, you there? Somebody said you there. Pam, you want to come up? You want the link? I know you tired, child. Pam been on this thing all day today. She probably don't feel like it. But if you want the link, I'll see the link, boo, if you want to come up. So, I really feel like that. Well, no, Larry Reed and King Giles were the first people he said he was going to sue, right? Then, Pam about to get sued. Then, I think Miss Jones was probably after them. Now, I have a little bit of an update for the Larry Reed case. Remind me. I'll give y'all that update later on. Remind me. So I don't forget. And then, so he filed his lawsuit against Miss Jones. He alleged and then, he upped it like another $100 million after he got the discovery, because he felt like what he heard in the discovery was worse than what he originally heard, and so he upped the ante, right? So let me let y'all listen to a little bit. We're not gonna listen to all of this, but let me let y'all listen to a little bit of my original video when we talked about the Miss Jones case. We're gonna listen to a few minutes of it, just to refresh our memories. Child. Y'all already had me laughing in here. Y'all already got me clowning up here. It's too early for this. Oh God. Well, it really ain't too early. I guess it's too late. Okay. Can y'all see the screen? Oh, I had on purple lipstick. Look at me. Okay, y'all can see it. Okay. Now let's listen. Hold on. Let me take this off the screen. Thank you again for the super chat, Natalie. Let me take this off the screen. All right. So let's listen to a little bit of the Miss Jones situation. So first of all, Bishop Whitehead posted this press release on his channel. Now, I'm going to let y'all listen to me read it. But if you new here, I just need y'all to understand, if you new here, okay, how I am when I be reading stuff with grammatical errors. But I'm going to let y'all listen. Abby, can you get to the link? Or I know I set it up on my end, but let me do that. All right. Now, this is the press release where he is telling everybody about him suing Miss Jones. He says, for immediate release, y'all gotta excuse me. I know I can't see, child. For immediate release, let me do it this way. Yeah, this is better. New York, November 9th, 2022. Founder, well, first of all, let me read y'all the title. Bishop Lamore Miller Whitehead slams Tasha Nicole Jones and Paramount Global with $50 million defamation lawsuit. Founder and apostle of Leaders of Tomorrow International Churches. He put an S on there like he got more than one location. Anyway,
Bishop Lamar Whitehead files a $50 million lawsuit against an on-air radio personality, Tasha Nicole Jones, also known as Miss Jones. I'm not gonna bring up the grammatical errors in this, but I ain't saying I ain't gonna bring up the grammatical errors. I'm gonna try not to be petty. Let me say that. But he said also known as Miss Jones, but he didn't put the second parentheses. He just put, not like quotation, but okay. Along with her employers, Paramount Global, DBA Paramount, WXBX 94.7 and 94.7 The Block, alleging she wrongfully and irresponsibly made false claims against him during her New York-based morning radio show, causing him loss of income and the subject of public ridicule. The lawsuit was filed November the 9th in New York Supreme Court. The lawsuit states that on or about September the 13th, Tasha Jones, aka Miss Jones, alleged that Bishop Whitehead was a known drug dealer who used his church to hide owed drug money. She went on to further make false allegations of such and encouraged her listeners to call into the radio station to weigh in. Tasha Jones, aka Miss Jones, acting in concert with her employer, has a responsibility to both the listeners and the public to report accurate information, which was not done so in this case. 94.7 The Block and Paramount Global allowed Miss Jones to use her celebrity status and radio platform to spread hate, defamation, and false stories without fact finding, causing Bishop Lamar Whitehead financial harm and public ridicule. On Sunday, September the 18th, Bishop Lamar, he talks about the people that came to his church. While Bishop Lamar Whitehead continues to become the subject of countless and baseless claims, has continued to campaign against violence. I think you meant to say he has continued to campaign against violence in all houses of worship and fight against those looking to harm his reputation. Bishop Whitehead has gone from victim to villain in the eyes of many, but refuses to allow those such as Tasha Jones to perpetuate hateful lies and false stories. As of today, no hearing has been set for this case, yada, yada, yada. He says you can visit the church website or you can call him if you want more information about the church, yada, yada, yada. Now, he also put up here, Miss Jones needs to be fired. If I were a Jewish rabbi, she would be fired. You don't get to call a Christian pastor a drug dealer. Y'all.
Okay, now that was his press release to let us know that. Oh Lord, hold on, child. What I do? Nope. Hold on, let me take this. Lord, that's Thais. Thais done popped up on my channel. Thais, what you doing on my channel? Thais done popped up on my channel. Now that was his official press release to let us know that he was suing her. Okay. Now he filed the lawsuit. Now over on Pam's channel, we went through the legal case. Now I'm gonna give y'all the short version of the story. Okay, let me tell y'all what had happened. Once we read through the original case, what he said that on 2 different radio shows they spoke about him, and that's where she made these comments during those radio broadcasts, right? So when the radio station filed their response, they actually put in the language and the quotations of what Miss Jones specifically said. Now, the first thing that he accused her of was when he said, we're going to get to the drug dealer part last. The first thing he was upset with is that she said, well, you don't want to go to Bishop Whitehead's church because you go down there, you're going to get robbed. You had a robbery. You got robbed on camera. It went viral. Everybody saw it. So I'm not understanding how that was a problem for her to say. You might not want to head down to that church because you could get robbed. When somebody he literally had got robbed the month before she said that. So we're gonna throw that one out, okay? So the second thing he had a problem with was what she said. He assaulted one of his parishioners. She was like, I don't know the exact quotation, but she said something along that line. So, again, we saw you put your hands around somebody's neck and yank them out of your church on camera and went viral. Now, she might not have been your parishioner. And some might argue that, she was out of pocket. That's another conversation for another day. It don't change the fact that we literally saw you put your hand around that woman's neck and escort her out of your church. We saw you. So we can throw the second one out. Now, the third one is this drug dealer situation. Now, remember, if y'all been here for a while, y'all remember, I looked for that show. Miss Jones used to stream her show on her Instagram. I don't know if she still does it or not. But Miss Jones used to stream her show on her Instagram. And she used to post the shows on a YouTube channel. But the shows in question weren't there. Probably once he filed that lawsuit, the radio station asked her to take them down. Well, they took them down themselves, for obvious reasons. But I tried to find it so I could hear it for myself and hear what she had said. Because I was like, now, if she said this man was a drug dealer and that, now he is a convicted felon, but it was not drug charges. It was fraud charges, okay? Now, if she said he'd be out here frauding people, then we could have just threw that one out altogether. But none of his charges had anything to do with drugs. So I was like, well, what did she say? I couldn't find it. I tried, couldn't find it. So, didn't need to find it. You know why? Because the attorneys for Miss Jones and Paramount, for the radio station, actually put the quotations of what she actually said. Now, y'all can go back and watch Pam's video. We looked at it again a few weeks ago when he adjusted the lawsuit. I didn't pull Pam's video this time, but what I'm paraphrasing because I'm not reading the quote. But what she said on the show was they did start the conversation off talking about Whitehead and the robbery and whether it was real or whether it was fake, right? They had that whole conversation. From there, they started talking about all the stuff he has, the Louis, the Gucci, the bling bling, And she said, I'm paraphrasing, hey, Cupcakes, what's up? She said, I knew a lot of guys that was drug dealers back in the day. And when they got out of jail, they used in church as a hustle and as a way to wash the drug money that they had, right? And then they went off and had a whole conversation about guys who went to jail in the 90s, these drug kingpins went to jail and they get out of jail and then they found Jesus. They started these churches and the churches ain't nothing but a front. They did. They had a whole conversation about it. But you know what they never said? They never said Bishop Whitehead was one of those people. She never spoke Bishop Whitehead's name in that conversation. They did start off talking about Whitehead. And then the conversation evolved into a whole nother conversation. And matter of fact, she did mention names, but she didn't mention his. She never said Whitehead one of them. She never said, well, Whitehead, he up there washing that old drug money. Never said none of that. So she made an insinuation, maybe. But she never said him. And in the response from the radio station, they put her actual, and again, I don't have it in front of me, but they put the actual quotation of what she said. And I read it and I was like, now, unless the radio station is keeping, they edited out what she said. Like, if this isn't a direct quote, I don't see how he made. And then to add the little, whipped cream on top, they included an audio recording of the entire show, the radio station did, of the entire show with their response, as if to tell the judge, listen, you don't have to believe us. You can listen for yourself, because here's the recording of the whole 2 hours or 3 hours, however long her show is. Here you go. And I said, well, not only did they quote what she did say, I said, now, they could edit it. They could chop and screw it. Okay. I'm going to wait and see. Right? So about a couple of weeks ago, y'all, Whitehead comes down and tells us that they are increasing the amount of money that they are suing her for. They done added $100 million because now they got the discovery, which they've had for months. They've increased the discovery. I mean, they got the discovery, and based on what they heard, what she said was worse than what they originally thought. And so they adding more money to it. First of all, sir, that's not how this works. You don't get to add more money because you feel like what she said was worse than what you originally thought she said when you filed your lawsuit, because you still have to show damages and loss. You can't just make up a number. You still have to show that you lost that. So you didn't miraculously lose $100 million more just because you heard her say something more than you thought she said. You can't sue based on what you think you're going to lose. You have to sue based on what you lost. Your loss didn't change. Let's assume for a minute he lost. Let's just assume for a minute he did lose money and he did lose clients and he did lose. You already lost it. You don't get to come back and be like, oh no, you didn't just call me a B, you called me a black B. Oh no, that's $100 million more. That's not how this works, sir. That's not how any of that works. You don't get to amend your complaint and add more money because you feel like she said something worse, because you have to show that you lost something, which means that you would have already have lost it. Your loss didn't increase. So this is what happened. Based on the way I understand it, the way it was explained to me, this is what had went down. They filed the lawsuit, right? Now, when you file, if I sue you and I file my lawsuit and I explain why I'm suing you and I list all the things that I feel like you did to me and what law you violated, blah, 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 then you have to respond. And you have a certain time period that you have to respond to me by. If you don't respond to me by that time period, then I can get what's called a default judgment, right? Now, this varies from state to state. Y'all know I'm using my Law and Order University degree. Go on and put the emojis in the chat. I'm using my Law and Order University degree. Now, but the timeline, it varies. It varies state to state, case to case, whatever. So let's just, for the sake of argument, say you get 90 days, right? So Whitehead and his attorney sued. You got 90 days to respond. I made that 90 days up. Please don't put in the chat that it's not 90 days. I made that number up for the purposes of this conversation. Okay? Thank you. So Miss Jones' attorneys responded. Boom. They responded like within 2 weeks, I think. They were like, here you go. Boom. So once they respond, then there's the next part of the process now is in the court. The ball, it's now back on Whitehead and his attorney. There's something that happens next. I don't want to make up the name of it. If Pam is in the chat, I know she's gonna say it. But there's something that has to happen next. Probably another response or what have you. And what happened in this case was Bishop Whitehead and his attorney, they never responded to Miss Jones and her attorneys. by the timeline that they were supposed to, they did not respond. What they did was they submitted this amended complaint where they added more money and they added more, more violations that they felt were made. That's not what you're supposed to do. That is not the proper protocol. You don't get to just add, you still have to respond to the original complaint. You don't just add an amendment. That's not how that works. There's a process that you have to follow in order to do an amended complaint. You still have to respond to the original complaint by this due date. Are y'all following me? Okay. So because Whitehead and his attorney never responded to the original complaint by the due date that they were supposed to, again, let's say 90 days. I made that number up. After that 90 days, Miss Jones and her attorneys went to the judge and said, Judge, they never responded by the deadline. Can we just move to dismiss? Now, Whitehead and his attorney, Ponder, they over here thinking, I feel like this is me. This is really B. This is my brain, okay? This really B talking. I feel like in their mind, they felt like, well, we put this amendment. We responded by amending the complaint. Y'all feel what I'm saying? I think that's what he thought. Or at least that's what they thought. I think that's what Brian Ponder and them had thought was, well, we did submit an amendment. That's a way of responding. That's not how that works. So yesterday, the judge said, I agree. They didn't respond. They did not follow the protocol of this court. They did not follow the procedures of this court. And I agree. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm getting to the anti-SLAPP, Miss Cupcake. I'm going to get there, boo. Right, Brooklyn. He could have thought it, but his lawyer should have known better. But baby, I ain't talking about nobody's lawyer. I'm just going to leave that over there. Now, number one, the judge said, I agree. They did not respond in the timely manner that they should have responded. They did not follow the protocol of this court. Number one. Number two, they didn't follow the proper procedure on how to amend the complaint. So even if I was going to take into, even though I was going to take into account this amendment, they didn't follow the proper protocol to amend the complaint. So I ain't reading into that either. Number three, this is the part that I got. This is the part that cracked me up. You good, Miss Cupcake, baby? You know you good. Dr. Mary, hold on. I'm going to answer your question in a second. Let me finish this story. Y'all know how I get. Let me finish this story. Okay. Number three, the judge said, and even if they had responded, and even if they had followed the proper protocol, I still would dismiss this case. No, you good, Miss Bynum? Y'all know I don't mind y'all talk in the chat. Y'all good? I still would dismiss this case. So he said, even if your attorneys had done everything right, even if they had followed all of the protocols and the procedures of this here courtroom, I'm still throwing this shit out. Because it's some bullshit. Because it's some bull hockey. Because it's some boo ha ha. That's what he said. He said, I'm still throwing this out. That's what I thought was funny. Forget all the rest of that. Okay, so you violated. You didn't follow the protocol. Okay, that's a people can say it's a technicality. Oh, we got thrown out on the technicality. But the judge said, but don't be so fast. Even if y'all had done everything right, I would still throw this bullshit out. That's what he said. That's what he said. Mm. I feel like I hadn't drank any water. Well, I haven't drank any water all day. That's why I'm thirsty. So, y'all. So, in the state of New York, Pam has told us this. If you follow Pam's channel, and I told y'all this too, but Pam has told us that New York and California have probably some of the most notorious anti-SLAPP laws in the country, right? And what an anti-SLAPP law is, it is a law that says that when people file these frivolous defamation lawsuits, hey, Nay, when the lawsuit gets thrown out, or if the lawsuit gets thrown out, then you will owe, not can ask for, not can request, but by law in the state of New York, you automatically owe the legal fees. So not only has Whitehead lost his case against Ms. Jones, he now has to sit down with Ms. Jones' attorneys. They have to go over their invoices. They got to go over their checklists. They got to go over every phone call, every email, every time they had to sit down and listen to that 4-hour broadcast on the radio show. Every time they even thought about Bishop Whitehead's name and gave them people an invoice, they have to go and sit down, and they have to come up with an amount of money. And it has to be, I'm sure it has to be reasonable. They can't say we spent $5 million, right? But they have to come up with an amount of money. And now Bishop Whitehead is on the hook and has to pay back the attorneys. Now, this is what I need y'all to understand real quick. Ms. Jones did not go out and get her own attorney. She did not deal with this lawsuit at all because she works for a corporation. The corporate lawyers handled this case. He didn't sue just Ms. Jones. He sued Paramount. He sued the actual radio station. Like, he sued everybody. Okay? So it's not like she went out and got a lawyer that she could afford that was only charging $200 an hour or something like that, right? She got a corporate attorney that could be charging as much as $1,000 an hour or more. Or more, right? So, baby, by law, not only did he lose, now he owes. And he's going to owe a couple $100,000. I feel like. And here's the thing that y'all have to keep in mind. He filed all of these lawsuits in the state of North Carolina, in the state of New York. So he's going to be dealing with this anti-SLAPP law in all of these cases. So his case against Larry Reed, his case, he never served King Jive, so that don't count. We don't know if he ever served Belmonte. We don't know if that's going to count. We know he served Tasha K. We're going to get to Tasha K in a second. Even though we didn't already talk about Tasha K, we're going to revisit the Tasha K thing. Child, who else he done sued? I can't even keep up with all the people he done sued, child. But every single one of these defamation cases, that's why I was laughing so hard at the beginning of this live when he talking about something. He got an envelope waiting on Pam. What you suing her for? Because she reads off your cases word for word. Pam reads those cases word for word. If you ever watch one of Pam's videos, half the time she ain't even paying attention to the chat, child. She isn't reading that case. She is focused, okay? And then after she gets done reading the case, then she interacts with the chat for a little while. But baby, she does not add or subtract. She reads what your paperwork says. Now, I add and subtract. But, you know, we laugh and we joke over here. And it's all just me. It's my opinion. Okay? So, he said he's suing Pam, child. But, child, he was just talking, child. He was just talking. Pam Law Intellect. She's an attorney on YouTube. So, I feel like he did the same thing in this Larry Reed case. So he really needs to I have been on Pam's page and she has found exactly. So the same thing with Larry Reed. He filed a lawsuit against Larry Reed. Larry Reed's attorneys responded. In Whitehead's response to what Larry Reed said, and I really don't want to get into the weeds of the Larry Reed case, and I'm gonna tell you why. One, because I don't have it in front of me and I can't read it. And I would rather read it. I don't want to paraphrase any of that, because in his response, he then gets into all of the accusations against Larry Reed, and then he starts getting into all of that, which absolutely has nothing to do with his original case. He originally was suing Larry Reed because he said that Larry Reed was defaming him on his channel, talking about he set up the robbery, yada, yada, yada. It has nothing to do with the accusations against Larry Reed coming from outside sources. And so the fact that he even put any of that in his response, I just feel like, sir, you about to owe Larry Reed's legal fees too, because I don't even understand where this is coming from. Like how you gonna say, well, you defamed me, and your response to about your response to the accusation of the defaming is, well, look at what he did to all those other people over there. That has nothing to do with you. You know what I'm saying? That has nothing to do with you. Why are you even bringing this up? Why are you bringing up in your paperwork the accusations against Larry Reed that came from the Tasha K? Like, that don't even make no sense. That don't even make no sense. That don't make no sense. So that's what that was. And like I said, if I get the copy of the Larry Reed case, I may read it to y'all, but I really don't want to. Like I said, I don't want to get into the weeds of that, because he does bring in the accusations against Larry Reed, and I don't want to say it unless I had the words in front of me and I'm reading it off the paper. I ain't trying to paraphrase. I ain't trying to add to it. Y'all know what I'm saying? Really be your baby daddy broke this down earlier as well. Bishop is as smart as a whistle. Yeah, Conscious broke it down. Conscious did a good job of breaking it down earlier. And like I said, if I had it in front of me, which I should have asked one of my people, but I didn't. I don't have it in front of me, and so I'm not going to read it. The only reason why I even brought Larry Reed up is because, I feel like that's what they tried to do with the Larry Reed case, and it's just not going to work. So let's read this article. Now, we already talked about the Tasha K thing, but it finally hit the news, which is what I think. I know his little feelings was hurt, because when he sued Tasha K, I think he really thought people was going to care. And I don't think but like one little newspaper picked up the story, child. But it must have hit the news today, because I saw a lot of people doing videos. Child, we did a video on this 2 weeks ago. It's just that nobody else cared, okay? People still don't care, low-key. But we're going to talk about it. Let me read y'all this article. Hold on. I'm just going to read y'all the article. Let me just read y'all this article, honey. Now, we read the article, what was it, like 2 weeks ago, right? I think the New York Daily Post was the only people that was reporting it. But this is coming from the North Carolina Beat. I don't even know, but July 11th, 2013. So let's talk about it. Tasha K can't catch a break, because every time she turns around, somebody wants to sue her for the words that are coming out of her mouth. At this point, these lawsuits must be for publicity stunts, because Tasha K is... Y'all didn't read this article first. Yeah, I did not read this. Oh my gosh. Maybe I shouldn't have picked this one, because Tasha K is broke. And she done told y'all that. Okay, this is a blog. I'm sorry. I should just went back to the New York Daily Post. Lord, let's just keep reading, because this got me cracking up. And she done told y'all that. And on top of that, her recent bankruptcy filing shields her from any pending civil rights matter for now. Okay. Let's just keep reading it, child, because this thing got me cracking up. In the new lawsuit filed on June the 7th, 2013, brought by Lamar Whitehead, he alleges that on May the 23rd, 2023, Tasha K and her company, Yellen Entertainment, published a video online about his mansion purchase. In the complaint, Whitehead said that Tasha K alleged that he purchased his $2 million mansion with only $10 in the bank. Whitehead said that Tasha K's statement was false. Now that is what she said. But y'all know she got that from his superseding indictment where they said that he tried to buy something. But they said in the article that it wasn't his home, that it was another piece of property, that he tried to buy it with fraudulent banking documents where he only had $10, less than $10 in the bank. But that's where she got that from. Anyway, I'm not saying she right or wrong. I'm just telling y'all, you know. Whitehead alleged that Tasha K claimed the rapper Foxy Brown was his connect and has been helping him with his so-called credit card fraud. In the complaint, Whitehead said that Tasha K continued and made false statements alleging that Foxy Brown gave him the signals to make the fraudulent moves. Whitehead said Tasha K's statement is false. Another allegation, Whitehead alleges that Tasha K made false statements regarding a church purchase. Tasha K alleged that Whitehead knew the church owners at the time of the purchase. She claimed the owners needed the church refinance but didn't have the credit. So Whitehead told the owners to transfer the deed into his name and he would do it. During the process, Tasha K alleged that Whitehead evicted the owners from the property after the deed was signed over. Whitehead said that Tasha K also alleged that the feds were about to gag him and his assets were frozen. Whitehead said that Tasha K's statements are false. Now, let me say this. Hold on. Let me finish. Hold on. Another allegation, Whitehead alleged that Tasha K made false statements. Oh, I just read that. Okay. Whitehead also alleges that Tasha K lied when she claimed he tried to use her to intimidate a witness in one of his criminal cases. Whitehead is seeking $20 million in actual damages on defamation slander and $100 million each in punitive damages for the same counts. And then they have the actual complaint where, you know, they posted the actual complaint. Now let me say this. First of all, let me say this. How am I going to say this? If you have been following this situation like I've been following this situation, for my people who have been in the chat from the beginning, for the people who go over to Pam's chat and you hear Pam go through the actual legal documents, especially this Glory of God situation, because there's so many layers to the Glory of God situation. I can say, oh, Mark, you wrong. I can say that two of those statements that Tasha K made are not correct. They're not. They're not a fact. And y'all know, I don't even be trying to defend the bishop, but I'm going to be fair. Two of the things that she said about him are not correct. His superseding indictment, they specifically said in the superseding indictment that it wasn't to purchase his house. I suspect it was to purchase that Connecticut property. That's what I suspect. Because what they said in the article was that the bank didn't approve the loan. So he couldn't have bought the house. They're just saying that he tried to use these false bank statements to purchase property. But in the superseding indictment, it said that the bank did not approve the loan. So that statement actually is a false statement. Now, is he accused of falsifying bank statements? And is it in his superseding indictment that he said he had $2 million in the bank when he really only had less than $10 in that specific account? Yes, that is a fact. but it wasn't to buy his New Jersey home. At least not based on the documents I have read. Right? Then the glory of God statement, it's just not true. If y'all have been, for all of us who've been on this glory of God train, y'all know that that's not what happened in the glory of God case. That's not what happened. And Lord knows I ain't got time to break down glory of God, child. Lord knows I ain't got time to break down glory of God. That we be here till tomorrow. But let me just, to make a long story short, that's not what happened in the glory of God case. It's not. It's not what happened. So that statement actually is not true either. Now, the situation with him and Foxy Brown out here allegedly scamming the people, child, I don't know nothing about it. I don't know nothing about it. But I find it interesting. Why isn't Foxy Brown suing her? And the reality is you don't have to sue people just because people say stuff that you don't like, or just because people say stuff that you feel is a lie. And it may very well be a lie. I don't know nothing about what Foxy Brown does or does not do. Doesn't mean you have to sue people. Like, people get lied on all the time in the public eye and they just don't respond, So you don't have to sue. But I find it interesting that he is suing and we ain't heard nothing from Foxy Brown. That doesn't mean that he's guilty or innocent. I just find it interesting, right? And then that fourth statement about the Belmonte situation. Well, we know that Whitehead was trying to get people to run stories on Belmonte. She ain't the only person he went to. He did interviews. He tried to get anybody who would listen to talk about the fact that Belmonte is a crook. Belmonte definitely has a lot of stuff out there about him. We remember we looked at the law because again we fair. We looked at the blogs. We talked about all the accusations that were being made against him and his daddy and the fraudulent alleged things that they were doing, right? So we talked about that. And I'm saying all that to say he might have an arguable point on some of the things he said, right? But the problem is two things. Problem number one, again, sir, you got to show damages. You suing her for $150 million based on what? Based on what? That same $150 million that Miss Jones cost you, it's the same $150 million? Like, how did Tasha K cost you $150 million? She just said it last month. She just said it in June. How did you lose $150 million between June and July? I mean, did you have a $100 million business on the line that fell through because Tasha K said behind her paywall? Mind you, she said all this behind the paywall. Behind her paywall, she alleged that you and Foxy Brown was running plays. That's when you lost that $100 million? Again, you don't get to just pull a number out your arse. You don't get to just, $300 million. Thank you, Vintage, keeping me honest. But you don't just get to pull a number out of your arse. It has to be based in something. Tasha K didn't just, Cardi B, the jury didn't just wake up and say $4 million. Well, it's really 3 point something. It's broken down. And Cardi B was able to show damages. She was able to show documented damages. I'm sorry, $300 million loss. Please show me where you lost $300 million, sir. $300 million. 300 with a whole lot of commas. I mean, like, that's just not how this works. And the thing is, once again, because you got a little bit of this mixed in with a little bit of that, because you got a little bit of this mixed in with a little bit of that, that case gonna probably get thrown out too. So you gonna help Tasha K pay Cardi B. Because you're gonna owe her attorney fees too. So you're gonna pay Miss Jones' attorneys. Then you're gonna have to pay Larry Reed's attorneys. And then Tasha K gonna pull up to the bumper and open up her trunk, and you're gonna have to pay her attorneys. You ain't with what? Not the only thing he has proven is that he's an idiot. You know, okay, vintage, okay. Child. Anyway. Yeah. Put me down for $450 million while he at it. Okay. So for those who didn't understand why I was laughing so hard when he's still talking about suing people, I don't care if he's talking about suing Ronald McDonald. The fact that he's still talking about suing people, much less an attorney, you're going to sue another attorney? Sir, you got all these monkeys on your back. Somebody said, don't they have to sue in the state where they live? He, I guess because he lives in New York, he can sue in New York. Like, I ain't got to that chapter yet. I ain't covered that chapter down to Law and Order University. I always thought you had to file where you live too. Water, baby, it's water. It's water with a little bit of crystal light. It's water. I thought you had to sue, but maybe because he lives. And here's the funny thing: he keeps filing in New York, but he claimed he live in New Jersey until he's supposed to live in New York. Then he live in New York. Then he live in New Jersey. Child, that's a whole nother conversation about him telling the court where he live and where he don't live. So I find that interesting too. But I guess, I don't know. I guess he can file it in New York. Child, I don't know. That's a question I would have to ask Pam. Yeah, I would have to ask Pam that question because I always thought that as well. But again, maybe defamation cases are different. Like, I don't know. And again, that's a good question. That's a good question. Ponder lives in Atlanta, from my understanding. The bishop is going to have to pay his own attorney so they can go back to school and learn how to be an actual Bark. I don't know, child. Maybe Marnie, maybe the fact that it was done online, maybe, I don't know, that has something to do with jurisdiction. I don't know, but I'm going to ask Pam because that's a good question, and I don't know the answer to it, so I don't know. What's up, the realistic hustler? Yeah, Cardi lives in Atlanta. Somebody was asking where does Ponder live, his attorney. Exactly. And again, he keeps filing these damn lawsuits, and it's just, I mean, for us, it's funny. You know, it's fun to talk about. We can gag about it or whatever. But in the real world, like, you're really holding up cases for people who got real shit. You know what I'm saying? The court got to deal with you and take the time out to deal with you. Hey, Xavier. Well, people really got real to deal with. You know? Anyway, y'all. Well, let me get ready to get out of here. I just wanted to come through. Xavier, question, Xavier. I read today that the writers are in the actors, that they may be going on strike at midnight. Am I understanding that right? Oh, maybe that's what it is, where the statements were well, no, because Tasha K said it. She live in Florida. Hey, Miss Parker, thank you, child. You giving me my life today. What you drink? It looks like the color of my tequila. No, this is actually just water. It's smart water. I just got a little crystal light in here. I got a little. Where I put my crystal light at? Yeah, I just got a little mango peach crystal light. Little mango peach. I'm not good with just straight water. I know that I should be drinking straight water, but listen, the way I look at it is it's better than soda. It's all, you know. Thank you. They brought in a federal mediator, but it's not looking good. Yeah, they brought in a federal mediator, but they didn't agree to extend the deadline. And from what I read, the deadline is tonight at midnight, right? Wednesday night at midnight is the deadline. So it looks like the actors are getting ready to go on strike at midnight. The same day that the Emmy nominations are announced. Ain't that some stuff? Baby, the actors go on strike. It's about to be ugly. Just get ready for a whole lot of reality and game shows. That's all I can tell y'all. If they go on strike, even if they only on strike for 2 weeks, that, now is the time that they're filming for fall season. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, more reality programs, more game shows. I do not like Avion. I can't do Avion water. It's something about it. I don't like it. I don't like it. So we may be talking about that tomorrow. If I'm right in what I read earlier, I read an article earlier in the Hollywood Reporter. If my comprehension skills are there, then it sounds like at midnight tonight, the actors may be going on strike. Well, we'll talk about it tomorrow, y'all. I'm right. So Xavier says I'm right. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. It's already ugly. Yes, I met the producer for Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Just reality shows are filming. Tyler Perry has some filming at his studio. Retro shows for me. Well, remember, that's how I started doing the retro shows to begin with, because it was during the Panorama and people, it wasn't a lot of original programming on. The nurse in me says it's a better alternative to soda. The healer in me says what is best. Yeah, I know, remain teachable, and I appreciate that, and I'm trying. I really am. I'm trying, y'all, but water. Let me tell you, when I can drink straight water is when I'm thirsty, like hot. Like if I'm outside in the heat, I just want plain water. I do not want Crystal Light. I don't want nothing. I want plain water. But if I'm comfortable like this, drinking straight water, more of the retros. Well, all I'm gonna say, I'm gonna just nod. All right, y'all, let me get out of here. I think Sabrina is doing the Ready for Love panel right now, which I'm supposed to be on the panel. But baby, I just got home and I wanted to come and talk to y'all, so I may pop over there for a little while, but I can't stay long. I can't stay long because I got some stuff I need to do. But I will talk to y'all later. Mwah! Peace. Thank you for those that gave super chats. I appreciate you. Love you. Bye-bye.